Hey everyone, welcome to Midnight Mystic Stories. I noticed a lot of you who are watching and enjoying the content aren't subscribed yet. If you love spine-chilling stories, creepy encounters, and unexplained mysteries, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. It really helps the channel grow and helps us keep bringing more of the content you love. And be sure to comment below where you are tuning in from. Thank you and enjoy the video. My profile was basic. Picture of me holding a dog that wasn't mine caption. Looking for someone who likes long walks and bad decisions. Another one at a concert I barely remembered. One with my coffee cup half full and a forced smile. I didn't expect much. But then she showed up. Her name was Lila. Profile clean. Not too many pictures. Just enough to seem mysterious. One of her sitting on a porch swing. Another reading a book with the title covered. One of her hands wrapped around a mug with steam rising. No face close-ups. Something about that made her feel real, like she wasn't trying too hard. Her bio said, "I remember things others forget." That's it. Nothing flashy. I like that. We matched. Started talking. She asked about my job, my favorite movie, whether I believed in déjà vu. I told her I worked in IT, that I watched the same 5 movies over and over, and that déjà vu freaked me out. She said she felt the same, that we were alike. The messages flowed. No awkward silences, no waiting hours for a reply. It felt easy, too easy. But I ignored that voice in my head that said nothing this smooth comes without a catch. After a week, she suggested meeting. Not dinner, not a bar. She wanted to meet at her place. Said she cooked well, didn't like public spaces, preferred quiet. I hesitated. Meeting at someone's house on the first date? That's not normal. But she said she didn't trust crowded places, that she had anxiety, that she'd understand if I said no. I said yes. Stupid. But she seemed genuine. And honestly, I was tired of awkward small talk over overpriced drinks. She lived in an old apartment building downtown. Brick exterior, iron gate, the kind of place that looks like it's been there since the 1920s. I rang the buzzer. She answered with a soft voice, told me to come up to the 3rd floor. The elevator didn't work, so I took the stairs. The hallway smelled like mildew and old wood. Her door was number 317. Paint chipped at the edges. I knocked. No answer. Then the door creaked open by itself. I called out her name. No reply. The apartment was dark. Curtains drawn. The air was cold, like the AC was cranked. But when I touched the thermostat, it was off. I stepped inside. The place was neat, too neat. Like no one actually lived there. Couch centered perfectly, coffee table bare, no shoes by the door. A single lamp in the corner gave off a dim orange glow. I walked further in. The kitchen was spotless. Fridge humming. I opened it. Empty. Not even a light bulb inside. That's when I noticed the photos. On the wall above the couch. Dozens of them. All Polaroids lined up in a grid. I moved closer. My breath caught. They were all of me. Me leaving my office. Me buying coffee. Me walking my neighbor's dog last week. Me sleeping. Through my bedroom window. One was taken from inside my apartment. I recognized the crack in the ceiling. I backed away. Heart slamming. That's impossible. I checked the locks every night. I never left windows open. I didn't know her. I never saw her before. But there I was, in her apartment, in pictures she took, without me knowing. I turned to leave. The door was closed. I hadn't closed it. I grabbed the handle. Locked. I pulled, pushed, twisted. Nothing. The knob wouldn't turn. Then the lights went out. Not flickered. Just off. Total black. I froze. My phone was in my pocket. I pulled it out. Turned on the flashlight. The beam cut through the dark. I pointed it around. Nothing moved. Then I saw it. On the wall, next to the photos. A new Polaroid. Wet. Still developing. It was me. Standing right here. Flashlight in hand. Face pale, eyes wide. Taken seconds ago. I dropped the phone. It clattered on the floor. The light stayed on, pointing at the photo. I backed into the kitchen. My hands found the counter. Cold. Solid. Real. I needed a weapon. Anything. I yanked open a drawer. Knives. I grabbed the biggest one, held it tight. My palms were sweating. I turned slowly, scanning the room. That's when I heard it. A whisper. Not from one direction. From everywhere. Like the walls were talking. "You were supposed to notice," it said. "You were supposed to run." The voice was hers, but layered, like multiple versions speaking at once. I spun around. Nothing. Then the whisper came again, closer. "You like my profile. You said I was different. Now you see why." I ran to the window. Locked. Tried to break it with a knife handle. Glass didn't crack. I screamed. No sound came out. My throat tightened. Not my doing. Like something was pressing down. I fell to my knees. The whisper grew louder. "I've been waiting for someone like you. Someone who doesn't ask too many questions. Someone who says yes too easily." The photos on the wall began to change. Not the ones of me. The others. There were more now. Men. Different ages. All standing where I stood. All holding phones. All with the same look on their faces. Fear. Confusion. Realization. And in the corner of each photo, a date. Going back years. Decades. She wasn't Lila. She wasn't real. She was whatever lived in this apartment. Or maybe the apartment was her. I don't know. But she used the app to find people who wouldn't fight. People who'd come without suspicion. People like me. The knife slipped from my hand. My body wouldn't move. I was frozen, not by fear, but by something else. Something pulling me from the inside. My vision blurred. The last thing I saw was the wall. A new spot. Empty. Waiting. I woke up in my bed. Sunlight through the blinds. Birds outside. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. Hinge notification. Match. Her name was Lila. Profile picture of her on a porch swing. Bio. I remember things others forget. I didn't delete the app. I couldn't. My thumb moved on its own. I liked her message before I could stop it. She replied instantly. "Hey," she said. "Want to meet tonight?" I typed back yes. I don't know why. I don't know how. But my fingers moved. And now I'm sitting here, coat on, keys in hand, walking toward that same brick building. The gate creaks when I push it. The stairs feel heavier this time. My body doesn't want to go up. But I'm going anyway. 3rd floor. 317. The door opens before I knock. She's standing there. Smiling. Looks exactly like her photos. But her eyes are wrong. Too dark. Too deep. She says my name. I step inside. The door closes behind me. The lights go out. I'm not scared anymore. That part of me is gone. I don't fight. I don't scream. I just wait. Because I know what happens now. I've seen it on the wall. I'll stand in the corner while the next one arrives. I'll watch him panic. I'll listen to his breath quicken. And when he looks at the photos, he'll see me. In the grid. In the new spot. Date stamp in the corner. Fresh. Still developing. And maybe, just maybe, he'll run. So there's this app, right? Hinge. You swipe, you match, you chat. Sometimes you actually go on a date. I've been on a few, nothing crazy. Just coffee. Maybe a drink. Small talk about jobs and music, and what kind of tacos we like. Nothing ever stuck. Then I matched with this girl. Name was Lena. Her profile was weirdly minimal. One photo of her sitting on a porch, wearing a long sweater, looking off into the trees. No selfies, no gym pics, no travel shots. Just that one image in a bio that said, "I like quiet nights and older houses, that's it." Something about it made me pause. Not in a creepy way. More like she felt real. Like she wasn't trying to sell herself. We started talking. She didn't text in all caps or use a million emojis. She typed slow, like she was thinking about each word. We talked about books, old horror movies, how much we both hate small talk at parties. It felt different. After a week, I asked if she wanted to meet up. She said yes, but not for coffee, not for drinks. She invited me to her place. She lived in this old house on the edge of town, past the last gas station, where the streetlights stop and the trees close in. It wasn't falling apart, but it wasn't nice either. Paint peeling, windows dark, a single porch light, flickering like it was about to give up. Her car wasn't in the driveway. No lights on inside. I parked across the street and stared at it for like 10 minutes, trying to talk myself into going through with it. My gut was doing that thing where it's not quite telling me to run, but it's nudging me. Like, hey, maybe think about this again. But I'd already said yes. I didn't want to be that guy who flakes. So I got out, walked up the cracked concrete path, and knocked. No answer. I waited. Checked my phone. She'd texted me earlier. Asterisk, come in when you get here. Front door's unlocked. Asterisk, I turned the knob. It opened easy. Inside it was warm. Too warm. Like a fever. The air smelled like cinnamon and something else I couldn't name. Damp wood maybe, or old paper. The walls were lined with bookshelves, floor to ceiling, but the books were all the same. Same size, same faded black covers. No titles. I walked further in. The living room had a couch, a coffee table, a TV that looked from the 90s. Everything was clean, but not lived in. Like a set. No photos. No decorations. Nothing personal. I called out her name. No reply. Then I heard a noise from upstairs. A soft thump, like someone shifting in bed. I took the stairs slow. They creaked under my weight. The hallway up there was narrow, lit by a single bulb with a yellow tint. 3 doors. One was open, bathroom empty. Another was closed. The third, at the end, was cracked. That's where the sound came from. I stood there, hand on the wall, heart doing this stupid sprint in my chest. I told myself she might be asleep, that I should just knock and wait. But I didn't. I pushed the door open. Her room was small. Bed against the wall, nightstand, a dresser. She was sitting on the edge of the bed, facing the window. She didn't turn around. She was wearing the same sweater from her photo. Her hair was down, long and dark, covering her back. "Lena," I said. She didn't move. I took a step in. The floor didn't creak this time. Weird. I said her name again, louder. Still nothing. I walked over, slow, and touched her shoulder. Her head turned, but not like a normal person. It rotated too far, like past 90 degrees, until she was looking at me over her shoulder, eyes wide, mouth open just a little. And that's when I saw it. The skin on her neck was split, like a seam, and underneath wasn't blood or muscle or bone. It was wood. Dark, polished, grain running down into her collar. Her face wasn't right either. The eyes were glassy, fixed. Her lips didn't move when she spoke, but I heard her voice, clear as anything, coming from inside the room, not from her. "You shouldn't have come." I jumped back, tripped over my own feet, landed hard on the floor. My phone slipped out of my pocket, screen cracked against the wood. I scrambled for it, but it was dead. No power. I looked up. She was still sitting there, head twisted, staring. I got up, turned, ran for the door, but it slammed shut before I reached it. I grabbed the knob. Locked. I turned around. The room was different now. Smaller. The walls were covered in those black books, but they were moving, shifting like they were breathing. The air got hotter. I could feel sweat rolling down my back. The voice came again. Not from her this time. From the walls. "You matched because I let you. I've been watching. I knew you'd come." I pressed my back against the door, sliding down. My breath was loud, too loud. I looked at her again. She hadn't moved, but now her arms were stiff at her sides, hands flat on the bed. Her fingers were long, too long, and the tips were dark, like they'd been dipped in ink or tar. I don't know how long I sat there. Minutes? An hour? Time didn't feel right. My watch had stopped. The hands frozen at 11:11. I started thinking about her profile. I like quiet nights and older houses. That wasn't a preference. It was a warning. This house wasn't hers. She wasn't hers. She was part of it. Like the books. Like the floor. Like the air. Then the bed creaked. She stood up. Slow, mechanical. Her legs didn't bend right. She turned fully, her body twisting like a mannequin on a stand. One step, then another, toward me. I couldn't move. My body wouldn't listen. She stopped a foot away, reached out. Her hand hovered over my face. The fingers were warm, too warm. The skin on her palm was smooth, but underneath, I could see the grain. The same wood. "You're staying," the voice said. We need more. Her hand touched my cheek. It didn't hurt, but I felt something inside me shift, like a door opening in my chest. My vision blurred. The room faded. And when I came back, I was sitting on the bed, in the sweater, facing the window. I could hear footsteps downstairs. A knock at the door. I don't move. I don't turn. But I know he's here. Another match. Another name in the app. Another one who thinks this is just another date. I can feel the wood under my skin, spreading. I can hear the books whispering from the shelves. They're hungry. And I'm part of the house now. Part of the trap. I don't fight it. I can't. I just wait. Because soon he'll come upstairs. And when he touches my shoulder, I'll turn my head too far. And I'll say the words that aren't mine. You shouldn't have come. So I downloaded Hinge because everyone kept saying it's better than the others, like actually made for people who want something real, not just hookups or whatever. My friend Jess swore she met her boyfriend on it, and they've been together for a year now, living together, talking about a dog and shit. I wanted that. Not the dog part, not yet, but the not being alone part. I was tired of eating microwave meals while watching true crime docs and laughing at jokes no one heard. So I set up my profile, used some good pics, wrote something cheesy, but not too cheesy about loving road trips and bad horror movies, and started swiping. Most of the guys were either gym selfies with no shirt or holding fish, which is weird, or their bio said fluent in sarcasm, like that's a personality. But then I saw him. His name was Daniel. Normal name. His photos weren't perfect, kinda grainy, like taken on an old phone, but he looked real. One was him at a diner booth, mid-laugh, holding a milkshake. Another was him standing in front of a record store, wearing a faded band tee I didn't recognize. His bio said he collected vintage radios and liked walking in the rain. That's it. Simple. Not trying too hard. I like that. We matched. Started talking. He wasn't pushy. No, hey beautiful, or dumb pickup lines. Just asked about my favorite horror movie. Then actually watched it that weekend and texted me his thoughts. We talked about music, books, how weird it is that gas stations always smell like burnt popcorn. It felt easy, like talking to someone I'd known for years, but just hadn't met yet. After a week, he asked if I wanted to meet up. I said yes before I even finished reading the message. We picked a coffee shop downtown, neutral ground, nothing fancy. I got there early, nervous. Ordering a latte I didn't even want just to have something to do with my hands. When he walked in, I recognized him from the photos, but also didn't. He was taller, broader. His hair was Messier in person. He smiled when he saw me. Not the fake I'm trying to impress you smile, but the kind you give someone when you're genuinely happy to see them. We talked for 2 hours. No awkward silences. No forced topics. He told me about restoring old radios. How he could hear voices sometimes from the 1940s if the wiring was just right. I thought it was a joke at first, but he wasn't laughing. Said it happened once when he was fixing a Zenith from 1947. Heard a woman singing, "Dream a Little Dream of Me," like she was right there in the room. Gave him chills, but not bad ones. I believed him. Not because it made sense, but because he said it like it was normal. Like telling someone he liked peanut butter sandwiches. That's when I knew he was different. We started hanging out more. Walks in the park, late-night diner runs, movie marathons at his place. His apartment was small, on the 3rd floor of this old brick building near the river. The kind with creaky floors and windows that didn't shut all the way. But it felt warm. Full of books, records, radios, some working, some just for show. He had one on the kitchen counter that looked straight out of the 1930s. Big wooden box. Brass knobs. He said it still worked, but he only turned it on late at night when he couldn't sleep. One Friday, I stayed over. We fell asleep on the couch watching some zombie movie. Woke up around 3 a.m., thirsty. I got up, padded to the kitchen, and saw the radio was on. Low volume, just static. I didn't think much of it. Daniel sleepwalked sometimes. He told me. I reached to turn it off. But then I heard it, a voice, faint, buried under the noise. A man, talking fast, like he was scared. Couldn't make out the words. I leaned closer. The voice stopped. Just static again. I shut it off, grabbed my water, went back to the couch. Next night, same thing. Radio on. Voice again. This time clearer. Not supposed to be here. They're watching. Don't let them. Then gone. I didn't tell Daniel. Didn't want to sound crazy. But I started paying attention. Noticed he'd leave the room when the radio was on, like he didn't want to hear it. Once, I saw him staring at it while it played nothing but static, his face totally blank. Then came the dreams. I started dreaming about a hallway. Long, narrow, wallpaper peeling, dim light at the end. I'd walk toward it, but the door at the far end would slam shut before I got there. Every time. Woke up sweating, heart racing. One night, I jolted awake, and the radio was on again. This time music. Old jazz, the kind from black and white movies. But underneath it, the same voice. She's in the walls, it said. She's always been in the walls. I sat up. Daniel was asleep beside me, breathing slow. I looked at the radio. The dial was turned all the way to the left, where there's never a station. But it was playing. I got up, unplugged it. The next day, I asked Daniel about the radio. He got quiet, said it wasn't just any radio. It used to belong to the guy who lived in the apartment before him. Guy named Carl. Died alone. Heart attack. They found him weeks later. Landlord cleaned out the place, but the radio was still there, on the counter, plugged in. Daniel said he kept it, because it worked better than anything else he'd ever had. Said sometimes it picked up strange signals. Like echoes, he said. Not from far away. From before. I didn't like the sound of that. A few nights later, I woke up again. Radio on. Voice louder now. You're not supposed to be here. It said. They don't like new people. I got up, shaky, walked to the kitchen. Daniel was sitting at the table, staring at the radio. He didn't turn around. I asked him what was going on. He said the radio wasn't just picking up signals. It was sending them too. That Carl wasn't just a guy who died. He was trying to warn people that the building wasn't built right, that something was in the walls. Not rats, not pipes. Something that lived there before the building, before the city even. Carl found out when he started hearing voices in the radio. Tried to tell people. No one listened. Then he stopped talking. Just sat in his apartment, radio on, whispering to the walls. Daniel said he didn't believe it at first. Then he started hearing the same things. Saw things. Shadows moving in the corners when the lights were off. Felt breath on the back of his neck when he was alone. I told him we should leave. Unplug the radio. Get out. Stay at my place. He said it wouldn't matter. That once you heard it, you were part of it. That the thing in the walls knew your voice now. Knew your rhythm. Said it learned from the radio signals, from the vibrations in the wires. That it could mimic. Could pretend. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I packed my stuff. Told Daniel I was going home. He didn't argue. Just nodded, looked tired. I walked out, took the stairs down, got to the front door. As I stepped outside, I heard it, the radio. Faint, coming through the open window above. Playing music. Then a voice. My voice. Saying, I'm staying. I'm not leaving. I want to stay with Daniel. I froze. Looked up. Daniel's window was dark. I walked fast to my car, drove home. Locked the doors. Didn't sleep. Next morning, my phone buzzed. Message from Daniel. Hey, you left your charger here. Want me to drop it off? I didn't reply. Then another. You sure you don't want to come back? It's quiet now. Radio's off. Still didn't reply. Then a photo. My charger, sitting on his kitchen counter. Behind it, the radio. Off. Silent. I almost believed it. But then I noticed something. In the reflection on the microwave door, behind the charger, the radio's dial was turned on, glowing faintly, and the speaker was vibrating. Just a little. Like something was trying to come through. I blocked his number. Changed my Hinge profile. Deleted the app. But last night I heard it. In my apartment. Faint from the bathroom. Static. Then my voice again. I'm not alone. I never was. I went to check. Nothing. No radio. No device on. But the air felt thick. Like something was listening. And now, as I write this, I can hear it again. Not loud. Not clear. But there. Under the silence, a whisper. Not mine. Not Daniel's. Something else. It's learning. And it's not just in the walls anymore. I never thought a dating app could ruin my life. I mean, yeah, I've had some weird matches. Guys who sent me pictures of their feet. One dude who asked if I believed in aliens before even saying hello. Another who ghosted me after I told him I like dogs. But nothing like this. This wasn't awkward small talk or bad first dates. This was different. This felt like something had crawled out of my phone and into my apartment while I wasn't looking. It started with a match. His name was Jason. Profile picture showed him standing in front of a lake, wearing a gray hoodie, smiling like he knew a secret. His bio said he liked hiking, making coffee, and rainy nights. Nothing crazy. Nothing that screamed danger. He had mutual friends with me on Instagram, which made me feel safer. I know, downright. But in my head, if he knew people I knew, he couldn't be a total psycho. So I swiped right. He messaged me almost instantly. Said he liked my laugh in one of my Instagram stories. I didn't even remember posting it. We chatted for a few days. Normal stuff. Movies, food, whether pineapple belongs on pizza. It doesn't, by the way. He suggested meeting up at this little coffee shop near my place. I said sure. Nothing serious, just coffee. I told my roommate, Jess, where I was going, just in case. She rolled her eyes and said, "Don't fall for a guy who owns a succulent collection," which was her way of joking. I left around 6. It was already dark and drizzling. The streets were slick, reflecting the streetlights like oil on water. The coffee shop was warm, smelled like cinnamon and burnt toast. I spotted him right away. Same hoodie, same smile. He stood up when he saw me, pulled out my chair like we were in some old movie. We talked for over an hour. He was easy to talk to. Funny, not trying too hard. We both ordered a second coffee, then a third. Time slipped. When I checked my phone, it was almost 10. I said I should probably head back. He offered to walk me home. I hesitated, but it was raining harder now, and he seemed genuinely nice. So I said yes. We walked in silence for most of the way. Not awkward, just comfortable. When we got to my building, I turned to say thanks, and he said, "I had a good time." I smiled, said same, and started to turn toward the door. Then he said, "You left your jacket in the car." I froze. I didn't have a car. I didn't even own a jacket. I turned back, confused. But he was already walking toward the end of the block, toward a black sedan I hadn't noticed before. My heart did this weird stutter. I didn't follow. I just stood there, watching him open the back door, reach inside, and pull out something. It was my hoodie. The gray one I wore yesterday. The one I left in my room. I didn't move. Couldn't. He held it up like he was showing me, then got in the car and drove off. I ran inside, up the stairs, fumbling with my keys. Jess wasn't home. I checked every room. Closet, under the bed, behind the shower curtain. Nothing. I called her. She picked up laughing, said she was at a bar with friends. I told her to come home. Now, she could hear it in my voice. She came. We searched again. Nothing missing. Nothing out of place. But my hoodie was gone. And he had it. How? Why? I didn't tell him I had a gray hoodie. I didn't post pictures of it. I barely even wore it. I checked my phone. No messages from Jason. I opened Hinge. His profile was gone. Like it had never existed. Jess said I should report it. I didn't know what to report. Some guy had a hoodie. I felt stupid. Paranoid. But that night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing noises, little creaks in the walls, the hum of the fridge cutting off too suddenly. Around 2, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Just a photo. It was my bedroom, taken from the corner near the ceiling. I could see my bed, my shoes by the door, the window half open, and in the photo, my missing hoodie was laid out on the pillow, like someone had just taken it off. I didn't call the cops. I didn't tell Jess. I deleted the photo, turned off my phone, and sat in the dark with a kitchen knife on my lap until the sun came up. The next day, I changed my number, deleted Hinge, told Jess I was done with dating for a while. She didn't push. But that night, I heard something outside my window. Not loud, just a soft tap. Like a pebble. Then another. I pulled the curtain back an inch. Nothing. Just the alley, wet from rain. Trash cans lined up like sentries. I went to bed early, locked my door from the inside, put the knife under my pillow. I woke up to the smell of coffee. Not my coffee. I don't even drink it. But there it was, rich, dark, coming from the kitchen. I sat up slowly. My door was open. I never leave it open. I grabbed the knife, crept down the hall. The kitchen light was on. On the counter, a mug steaming. Next to it, a note. You take it black, right? Same handwriting as the text. I didn't touch anything. I called Jess. She came over. We called the police. They searched the place. No signs of forced entry. No fingerprints. The coffee was just coffee. The note, plain paper from a notepad Jess kept by the phone. They said without proof, there wasn't much they could do. Left with a card that said, call if anything else happens. It did. Over the next 3 days, small things. My toothbrush moved from the cup to the sink. My favorite sweater found in the laundry room damp. A photo on my laptop, taken from inside the apartment, showed me sleeping. My phone charging on the nightstand. The timestamp said 3:17 a.m. I stopped sleeping. Stopped eating at home. I stayed at Jess's couch. Avoided my phone. Avoided everything. But I had to go back eventually. Rent's due. I needed clothes. I went during the day. Sunlight. Neighbors outside. Felt safe. I packed a bag fast. Didn't look around too much. As I was leaving, I saw it. A sticky note on my front door, under the welcome mat. You can't stay away forever. I ripped it off, crumpled it, threw it in the trash downstairs. I didn't go back for a week. Slept at Jess's, worked from the library, avoided my building like it was cursed. Then last night my phone rang. Not a text. A call. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. But something made me. No one spoke. Just breathing. Slow. Calm. Then the line went dead. I checked my email. There was a new message. No subject. Just a video file. I opened it on my laptop. It started in my bedroom. Night vision. Green tint. The camera panned across the room. My bed, my dresser, the window. Then it stopped on the closet door. It opened slowly. And out stepped someone wearing my clothes. My jeans. My favorite band tee. My face. Not a mask. Not a twin. Me. Same scar above the eyebrow. Same crooked tooth. When it smiled. It looked at the camera, tilted its head, then whispered, "You left your jacket in the car." The video ended. I didn't sleep. I'm not sleeping now. I'm writing this from Jess's living room. She's asleep on the other couch. My phone is off. My laptop is closed. But I can hear it. The soft buzz of the fridge, the way it cuts off too suddenly. And outside, the streetlight flickers, like something just walked under it. I don't know what it wants. I don't know how it started. But I know it's not done. And I know, sooner or later, I'll have to go home. I mean, Hinge. That's supposed to be the one where people are actually trying, right? No swiping left on apps for days. No dudes holding fish. No gym selfies with captions like, "Looking for my partner in crime." I downloaded it after my buddy Kyle kept yelling at me for being emotionally offline, or whatever he called it. Said I needed to get out, meet people, stop watching true crime docs until 3 a.m. alone in my apartment. So I did. Set up a profile, pick decent photos, me smiling, me with my dog, me at a concert last summer that wasn't even that fun but looked cool. Wrote something basic like, "I like long walks, bad jokes, and making people laugh." Cringe, I know. But it worked. Or at least, it seemed to. She matched with me 2 days later. Her name was Claire. Profile was low-key, which I liked. Just a picture of her sitting on a porch swing, wearing a denim jacket, sipping something from a mug. Hair dark, eyes hard to read in the photo, like she was looking just past the camera. Bio said, "I believe in quiet nights and loud feelings." That stuck with me. Kinda poetic without trying too hard. We started chatting. Nothing wild. Talking about music, books, the weird pizza place downtown that puts French fries on their slices. She hated it. I loved it. Immediate debate. Felt natural. After a week of texting, she suggested we meet. Not dinner, not a bar, not some crowded place. A park. During the day. Seemed safe. Smart even. I liked that she wasn't pushing for anything intense. So I said yes. The park was one of those old city ones with winding paths, stone bridges over little creeks, trees so thick they block out the sun even at noon. I got there early, sat on a bench near the duck pond, tried not to look like a creep checking my phone every 10 seconds. She showed up 10 minutes late, walking slow, hands in her pockets. Looked exactly like her photo, maybe even better. We hugged, awkward but not terrible, and started walking. Conversation flowed. She had this way of listening like she actually cared, nodding at the right times, laughing at my dumb jokes like they weren't dumb at all. We passed a little ice cream stand, bought cones, kept walking, talked about our jobs, families, weird fears. Hers was birds, specifically crows. Said they always felt like they were watching her. I laughed, told her that was random. She didn't laugh, just stared at a tree like she'd seen one. We ended up near this part of the park that was kind of forgotten. Overgrown path, broken bench, a rusted sign that said, "Private property, keep out," but no fence or anything. She stopped there, looked around like she was remembering something. I asked if she'd been here before. She said once, with someone else. Didn't say who. I didn't ask. Felt like a weird moment, so I cracked a joke about how this was probably where serial killers dump bodies. She didn't laugh, just looked at me, dead serious, and said, "Not dumped, buried." I froze. Thought she was messing with me. But her face, blank, no smirk, nothing. I forced a chuckle, changed the subject. We walked back toward the main path. I checked my phone. 4:17 p.m. Still light out. Still people around. Felt fine. Until I wasn't. A week later, she invited me to her place. Said she made pasta, wanted to watch a movie. I hesitated. First date at someone's house. Kinda fast. But she sounded so normal, so chill, and I didn't want to seem weird for saying no. So I went. Her apartment was in this older building near the university. Brick, narrow staircase, dim lights. Unit 3B. She opened the door before I could knock. Wore sweatpants and a band tee. Some indie group I didn't know. Place smelled like incense and something else, faint, like wet soil. We ate at her tiny kitchen table. Pasta was good. Sauce a little thick, but I didn't say anything. After, we sat on the couch. Movie started. Some old horror flick I'd never heard of. Black and white, creepy music, slow shots of empty hallways. I wasn't paying much attention. My phone buzzed. Kyle asking if I was alive. I texted back fast. Then the power went out. Not just her place. Whole building. Streetlights gone. Pitch black. She didn't panic. Just said, "Happens sometimes." Old wiring. Lit a candle. The flame made shadows dance on the walls. She sat closer. Not like flirtatious close, but like she needed to be near me. I didn't mind. Felt weird, but not bad. Then she started talking. Not about the movie. Not about us. About her childhood. Said she grew up in a small town. Parents strict. Kept her isolated. Said her dad used to take her on walks in the woods behind their house. Every Sunday. Just the two of them. Said he'd make her dig holes. Deep ones. Said she didn't know why. Said he'd stand there, watch her, hands in his pockets, face blank. Said one time, she found a shoe in the dirt. Old worn, size too small for a man. She asked him about it. He looked at her like she'd said something wrong. Never took her back after that. I didn't know what to say. Felt like she was testing me, seeing if I'd run. I stayed. Asked if she ever went back. She said no. Said the house burned down a few years ago. Arson. No suspects. I nodded like that made sense. The candle flickered. The movie played silently on the screen, just shapes moving in the dark. Then she said, "I think he's still out there." I asked who. She didn't answer. Just stared at the wall behind me. I turned. Nothing. When I looked back, she was closer. Nose almost touching mine. Breath slow. Said, "You remind me of him." I pulled back. Not fast, not dramatic. Just shifted on the couch. Said it was getting late. Needed to go. She didn't stop me. Just watched me put my shoes on. At the door, she said, "You should come back. I'll make dessert next time." Smiled. Not a nice smile. One that didn't reach her eyes. I didn't text her. Deleted the app. Blocked her number. Thought that was it. But 3 nights later, I woke up to my dog barking. Not excited bark. Scared bark. Ran to the living room. Front door was open. Just a crack. Cold air drifting in. I checked the lock. Unlocked. I always lock it. Always. I closed it. Turned the deadbolt. Hard going. Looked outside. Nothing. Street empty. Lights off in every house. Went back to bed. Dog wouldn't stop growling. Next morning, found a note under my door. Plain white paper. No envelope. Just one line. "You left before dessert." Handwriting was messy, like it was written in a hurry, or with a shaky hand. I crumpled it, threw it away. Called Kyle, told him to come over. He stayed the night. Nothing happened. But yesterday, I was taking my dog for a walk. Same park. Not the one where I met her. A different one, across town. I was on a trail near a pond. Trees on both sides, some low. Dog stopped, pulled toward the bushes. I followed. He was sniffing at something buried under leaves. I kicked him aside. Found a shoe. Old. Worn. Size too small for a man. I backed up. Dropped the leash. Dog didn't run. Just stood there, staring at it. I grabbed him, walked fast to the car. Drove straight home. Locked the door. Checked it twice. Now I'm sitting here, lights on. Dog curled up at my feet. My phone's dead. Charger's missing. I looked everywhere. Then I saw it. On the kitchen counter. My spare charger. Wrapped around it, tied like a bow, was a strip of black fabric. Looked like it came from a jacket. Denim. I know that jacket. I've seen it before. In a photo. On a porch swing. I never thought a dating app could kill me. Not in a metaphorical way. Not in a heartbreak way. I mean actually kill me. Like flatline, cold body, funeral with awkward relatives kind of dead. But here I am, typing this on my phone at 2 in the morning because I can't sleep. And every time I close my eyes, I see his face. Not the face from the profile picture. Not the face that smiled at me over coffee last week. The other one. The one that wasn't human. It started like any other dumb thing I've done since moving to the city. Bored, lonely, and scrolling through Hinge like it's some kind of emotional vending machine. Swipe right, swipe left. Pretend I care about someone's favorite hiking trail or their spirit animal. That's when I saw him. His name was Daniel. 32. Works in archival restoration. Loves rainy Sundays and old film cameras. His photos were weirdly normal. No gym selfies, no fish he caught, no dumb poses in front of landmarks. Just him, smiling slightly in a dimly lit bar. Another of him, holding a coffee cup with a bookstore in the background. And one where he's standing in front of a brick building with ivy crawling up the side. Nothing flashy. Nothing that screamed psycho. He looked safe. Boring even. Which, honestly, was kind of refreshing. We matched. Exchanged the usual small talk. He asked about my job. I asked about his work with old documents, and somehow we ended up talking about forgotten places in the city. He mentioned an old library that closed in the 80s, said it was being restored slowly, piece by piece. He was working on it. That's when he invited me to see it. Not a date, he said. Just a tour. For fun. I don't know why I said yes. Maybe because it sounded different. Maybe because I was tired of bars and awkward dinner dates where people talk too much about their exes. So last Thursday, I took the subway to the edge of downtown, where the buildings get quieter and the streets feel older. The library was tucked between a boarded-up laundromat and a dry cleaner that hadn't been open in years. It looked like it had been forgotten by time. The windows were dark, the wood around the door cracked and peeling. Daniel was waiting outside, hands in his coat pockets, smiling that same calm smile from his photos. He unlocked the heavy oak door with a key that looked too modern for the building and held it open for me. Inside, it smelled like dust and wet paper. The air was thick, like breathing through a blanket. The lights were low, just a few standing lamps in the corners, casting long shadows across the rows of empty bookshelves. Some of the books were still there, but they looked brittle, pages yellowed and curling at the edges. He led me through the main hall, talking about how they were digitizing everything, restoring the structure slowly. His voice was soft, steady, too steady, like he was reading from a script. We went downstairs next. He said the archives were stored in the basement. The stairs creaked under our weight, and the air got colder the deeper we went. The basement wasn't what I expected. It wasn't a storage room with boxes and filing cabinets. It was a maze. Narrow corridors lined with shelves, some filled with books, others with folders tied with string. The ceiling was low, and the bulbs flickered every few seconds, like they were struggling to stay on. That's when I noticed the photos. They were pinned to the walls, tucked between books, stuck to the sides of cabinets. Hundreds of them, all women, different ages, different styles, but all smiling, all familiar. I recognized some from Hinge, others from Bumble, Tinder, even Instagram. And then I saw one of me, taken from my profile. Not the one I used. This was a screenshot. And next to it, a sticky note with handwriting that wasn't mine. She said yes. My stomach dropped. I turned to Daniel, but he wasn't behind me anymore. I called his name. No answer. Just the hum of the lights and the sound of my own breathing. I started walking back the way we came, but the hallways looked different now. The shelves seemed to shift. I passed the same photo twice. Same woman, same smile, same note. She said yes. I ran. Didn't care about being polite. Didn't care if I looked scared. I just wanted out. But every turn led to another corridor, another row of photos, another sticky note. Some had dates. Some had times. Some just had a single word, soon. Then I heard it. A clicking sound, like fingers tapping against wood. Slow, rhythmic, coming from everywhere and nowhere. I pressed myself against a shelf, trying to be quiet, trying to think. My phone was in my pocket. I pulled it out. No signal. Of course. But the flashlight worked. I aimed it down the hall and saw him. Daniel, standing at the end, facing the wall. His head was tilted, like he was studying something. Then he turned. His face that wasn't right. His eyes were too wide. His mouth stretched into a smile that didn't move when he talked. "You're not supposed to be down here," he said. "But you are. So you'll stay." I didn't wait. I bolted in the opposite direction, flashlight bouncing, heart slamming against my ribs. I don't know how long I ran. Minutes? Hours? The basement didn't make sense. It was too big. Too deep. I passed rooms I hadn't seen before. Offices with desks covered in papers. A small kitchen with a pot still on the stove. A bedroom with a neatly made bed and a nightstand holding a framed photo of a woman I didn't recognize. On the frame, another note. She stayed. I found a staircase eventually. Narrow, steep, leading up. I took it 2 steps at a time, bursting through a door into what looked like a staff room. Empty mugs on the table. A coat on the back of a chair. I ran to the front of the building, through the main hall, and shoved the front door open. Cold night air hit my face like a slap. I didn't stop running until I was 3 blocks away, lungs burning, hands shaking. I called the police the second I got home. Told them everything. They sent a car. Came back saying the building was empty. No sign of forced entry. No basement door in the records. No Daniel employed by any restoration company in the city. They looked at me like I'd lost it. Maybe I had, but I know what I saw. I haven't gone on a date since. Haven't opened Hinge. I keep thinking about those photos. About the women who said yes. About the ones who never came back. And the worst part? I keep getting notifications. New matches. Same profile picture. Same name. Daniel. Every night at exactly 2:13 a.m., it pops up. I delete the app, but it's back by morning. And last night, I got a message. Just one line. "You left your jacket behind. I'll keep it safe." I didn't wear a jacket that night. I checked the basement of my apartment building today, just in case. The door was locked, but I swear I heard that clicking sound from the other side. Slow, rhythmic, like fingers tapping against wood. I never thought a dating app could ruin my life. I mean, sure, I've swiped left on some weirdos, matched with a few people who ghosted after one hey, and once got a message that was just a photo of a toaster with the caption, "We could warm each other." But that's normal, right? That's just how it goes when you're trying to meet someone in 2024. You scroll, you match, you talk, you either click or you don't. Simple. Or at least, it was supposed to be. Then I matched with her. Her profile was normal. Like suspiciously normal. Name was Sarah. 26. Worked in graphic design. Had a dog named Pickles. Posted a few photos. Nothing too staged. Just her at a concert. Her and her dog in a park. One of her holding a coffee cup with a bookstore in the background. She had this smile. Kind of crooked. Like one side of her mouth lifted higher than the other. Not bad, just noticeable. And her bio said, "Looking for someone who actually listens." That hit me. I've always hated how people just wait for their turn to talk. I replied with something dumb, like, "I listen so well I can hear your dog judging me through the screen." She laughed. Or at least, she said she did. Sent back a laughing emoji. We started talking. It felt easy. Like weirdly easy. She asked questions that weren't just, "What do you do?" or "favorite movie." She wanted to know what kind of cereal I ate as a kid, if I believed in ghosts, whether I'd rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses. I told her I'd fight the horse duck. She said she'd run. We kept talking for days. Then weeks. We didn't even video call. Just text. But it felt like we were closer than most people I've dated in person. One night, she asked if I wanted to meet up. Said she lived about 30 minutes away. I said yeah, obviously. We planned for Saturday. Coffee place near her place. I spent all Friday night stressing over what to wear. Not too try hard, but not like I didn't care. Ended up in jeans, a dark green hoodie, and my cleanest sneakers. Drove over early, parked across the street, and waited. She never showed. I sat there for an hour. Checked my phone every 10 seconds. No message. No running late. No something came up. Nothing. Just silence. I texted her. "Hey, you here?" No read receipt. Then, 20 minutes later, it said delivered. But no reply. I left. Drove home feeling like an idiot. Maybe she got scared. Maybe she stood me up. Whatever. I'd been rejected before. This wasn't new. But then, Monday night, my phone buzzed. It was her. "Sorry about Saturday," she wrote. "Something happened. I couldn't come." I typed back. "No worries. You good?" She said she was. Said she'd been sick. We talked like nothing happened. Same rhythm, same jokes. It was like Saturday never existed. And honestly, I was relieved. I didn't want it to be over. So I let it go. Then, a week later, I woke up to a notification. A photo. From Sarah. It was a picture of my street. Taken from the sidewalk, looking toward my apartment building. The angle was low, like someone crouched down. And in the bottom left corner, barely visible, was my car parked in its usual spot. My stomach dropped. I checked the time it was sent. 3:17 a.m. I live alone. 3rd floor. No one knew I was home except her. We'd talked late the night before, but I never told her my address. Never even mentioned my neighborhood. I called her. No answer. Texted. Nothing. I spent the whole day watching the window. Every car that slowed down. Every person walking past. I stared. My neck hurt from turning. I didn't go to work. Couldn't focus. By nightfall, I was exhausted, but I didn't sleep. Just sat on the couch with the lights off, phone in hand, blinds cracked open. Then, around 2 a.m., I saw her. She was standing across the street. Same hoodie from her profile photo. Hands in pockets. Not moving. Just looking up. At my window. I froze. My breath stopped. I wanted to turn on the light, scream, call the cops, but I couldn't move. She just stood there. For what felt like hours. Then, slowly, she raised her hand. Not a wave. More like pointing. At the window. At me. Then she turned and walked away. I didn't sleep. Didn't eat. Called in sick again. Spent the day Googling her name, her job, her dog, anything. Nothing came up. No social media under that name. No graphic designers named Sarah in her city. No records. Nothing. I blocked her on Hinge, deleted the app, thought that would be the end of it. But the next night, I heard something. A knock. Soft. At the door. I live in a building with a buzzer. No one can just walk in. So how was someone at my door? I didn't answer. Didn't move. Just sat on the floor behind the couch, heart slamming against my ribs. The knock came again. 3 slow taps. Then silence. I waited. 2 hours. Nothing. Finally, I crept to the door and looked through the peephole. No one. But on the floor, there was a small paper bag. White, like from a bakery. I didn't open it. Just left it there. In the morning, I kicked it down the hall to the trash. That night, the power went out. Whole building. Lights, Wi-Fi, everything. I sat in the dark, phone flashlight on, back against the bedroom door. That's when I heard it. A voice. From the living room. It was her. Whispering. Not loud. Just words. Too quiet to make out. But it was definitely her voice. I recognized the tone. The way she said, "Hey," when we first messaged. The soft lilt at the end. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. The voice stopped after a few minutes. Then a thud. Like something heavy dropped on the floor. I stayed like that until sunrise. Next day, I called my landlord. Told him I wanted to move. He said I'd have to wait a month. I said I didn't care. I'd pay extra. Just needed out. I started packing. Didn't care what I took. Just needed to leave. Then, while shoving clothes into a suitcase, I found something in my closet. A leash. Pink. With little cartoon Pickles on it. Pickles. Her dog. I'd never seen this before. I know I hadn't. I checked every inch of that apartment before I moved in. No way this was here. I threw it in the trash. Called a friend to stay over that night. He came. We sat in the living room, lights on, TV loud. He fell asleep on the couch. I didn't. Around 1 a.m., my phone buzzed. "Sarah." One message. I just wanted to talk. I turned off my phone. Didn't charge it. Just left it dead on the counter. But the next night, the messages started again. Not on my phone. On the TV. I was watching something dumb, just to have noise, when the screen flickered. Then, in the middle of the show, a text box popped up. White background, black text. Like a message. "I miss you." Then another. "Why are you ignoring me?" Then another. "You're being rude." I grabbed the remote, turned it off, unplugged the TV, sat in the dark. But the messages kept coming. On my laptop, my tablet, even my smart speaker blinked and said, "Sarah says you should answer." I smashed the speaker with a lamp. I packed the rest of my stuff that night. Called a moving truck for the morning. I was zipping up the last box when I heard scratching. From the front door. Not knocking. Scratching. Like nails. On wood. Then a whine. High-pitched. Sad. "Pickles." I backed into the bedroom, locked the door, slid under the bed. The scratching stopped. Silence. Then a click. The front door opening. I heard footsteps. Slow. Calm. Walking through the apartment. Stopping in the living room. Then the kitchen. Then the hallway. Outside the bedroom. The doorknob turned. It didn't open. I'd locked it. But then softly a voice. Right at the door. "Let me in." It wasn't angry. Not loud. Just sad. Like she was hurt I wouldn't talk to her. I stayed under the bed. Didn't move. Didn't cry. Just waited. The voice didn't come back. But in the morning, when I came out, everything was different. All my boxes were gone. Every piece of furniture. Even the pictures off the walls. The apartment was empty. Except for one thing. On the kitchen counter. A sticky note. Handwritten. "I'll wait for you to come back." And underneath it, a small pink leash. So it started with a notification. Not the kind that makes your heart jump or your phone buzz like it's possessed. Just a little ding in the background while I was scrolling through memes at 2 a.m. Half dead from another wasted night of not sleeping. Hinge. Match. You've got a new like. I didn't even remember downloading the app again. I swear I deleted it after the last disaster. Some guy who showed up to our coffee date with a tarot deck and asked if I believed in soul contracts. But there it was, glowing on my screen like a neon sign in an empty parking lot. One match. Just one. Her name was Lena. Profile picture. Her smiling in front of a gas station, holding a Slurpee, eyes crinkled like she genuinely found something hilarious seconds before the photo. Bio said she liked long walks, bad horror movies, and dogs that snore. Normal. Too normal, maybe. But I swipe right anyway, because what the hell? And within seconds, she messaged, "Hey, you look like someone who wouldn't ghost me after 3 dates." I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was so weirdly specific. Like she already knew how this game worked. We started talking. Not the usual small talk about jobs or favorite seasons, or what kind of pizza you are. None of that cringe. She asked if I ever felt like someone was watching me when I was alone in my apartment. Said she did. All the time. Like the air gets heavier. Like the silence isn't really silent. I told her I thought that was just anxiety. She said no, it's not. It's something else. Something that learns your routine. We kept texting. A lot. Too much. It got to the point where I'd wake up and her name would be at the top of my messages. Like she'd been up all night typing and deleting and typing again. She never called. Never sent voice notes. Just text. Always text. But the way she wrote, it felt like she was in the room. Like she knew the exact shade of blue my walls were, or how the floor creaks near the bathroom door. Once I mentioned I liked listening to white noise when I slept. Next day, she sent a link to a recording labeled Bedroom AC, 3 a.m., light rain. I played it. It wasn't just any recording. It was my room. I recognized the hum of my fridge, the way my window rattles when the wind picks up. I asked how she got it. She said she didn't. Said she found it online. Said it reminded her of home. I didn't believe her, but I kept listening. Every night. It made me sleep better, weirdly, like someone was keeping watch. Then she suggested we meet. Not in person. Not yet. She wanted to do a video call, just to see each other. Make sure we weren't about to show up to a diner and realize one of us looked nothing like the photo. I agreed. Set it up for Friday night. I cleaned my room, turned on the ring light, made sure the camera wasn't pointed at the pile of laundry in the corner. She called exactly at 8. Video feed was blurry at first, then cleared. She was real. Sitting on a bed, wearing a gray hoodie, hair pulled back. Behind her, a shelf with books, a string of fairy lights, a framed photo I couldn't make out. She smiled. Not big. Just a small lift at the corner of her mouth. Said hi. I said hi back. We talked for 20 minutes. Normal stuff. Movies. Music. The way city pigeons look like they're judging you. Then she said, "You hear that?" I didn't. She tilted her head, like she was listening to something off-screen. Then she looked straight into the camera. Not at me. Through me. Said, "It's here. Right behind you." I laughed. Thought she was messing with me. But then I felt it. The temperature dropped. Not a draft. Not the AC kicking on. Just cold. Sudden. Like someone opened a freezer right behind my neck. I turned. Nothing. Just my room. Same as always. I looked back at the screen. She was gone. Call ended. No warning. Just black. I didn't sleep that night. Kept checking the app. No new messages. Her profile was still up, but it looked different. The picture was the same, but the background behind her had changed. Now it was darker. The fairy lights were off. And the photo on the shelf? It was facing forward. It was a picture of me, sitting at my desk, wearing the same shirt. From that night. From that call. I deleted the app. Threw my phone in the couch cushions like it was contaminated. Didn't touch it for 2 days. When I finally checked, the app was back. Not reinstalled. Just there. Like it had never left. New notification. Lena liked your profile. Again. I didn't open it. But that night, the white noise recording started playing on its own. From my phone, sitting on the charger. I unplugged it. It kept playing. From the laptop. Then the tablet. Then the smart speaker in the corner. Every device in the apartment, blasting that same audio. My room. 3 a.m. The fridge. The window. And underneath it, faint, but getting louder, breathing. Not mine. Deeper. Slower. Like something was lying under my bed, waiting. I moved out the next day, crashed on my cousin's couch, changed my number, deleted every social media account. Thought I was safe. A week later, I was walking home from the grocery store, headphones in, just trying to exist, when I saw her, standing at the end of the block. Same hoodie, same Slurpee, smiling. I ducked into a gas station, waited 10 minutes. When I came out, she was gone. But my phone buzzed. Hinge notification. New message from Lena. I didn't open it. Threw the phone in a dumpster. Bought a burner. But that night, lying on the couch, I heard it again. The white noise. Coming from the walls. From the vents. From inside my head. And then a whisper. So soft I almost missed it. You can't stop the match. I don't know how she's doing it. Don't know if she's even real. But I see her now. In reflections. In the corner of my eye. Always holding that Slurpee. Always smiling. My cousin says he doesn't see anything. Says I need to sleep. But I can't. Because every time I close my eyes, I hear the ping. That little sound. Like a notification. Like something just connected. And I know she's not trying to meet me. She's not trying to date me. She's trying to replace me. Bit by bit. First the audio. Then the photos. Then the location. Now my routines. My habits. My face in her mirror. I found a selfie on my burner phone this morning. Didn't take it. Can't delete it. It's me sleeping. Camera from across the room. Flash off. But I can see the bed behind me. And in it, something shaped like a person. Under the sheets. Still. Watching. I packed a bag tonight. Leaving the city. Going up north. Somewhere with no signal. No Wi-Fi. No smart devices. Just trees and silence. I'm writing this on a library computer. Won't take it with me. Don't want anything that can track me. Don't want anything that can listen. I don't know if it'll work. But I have to try. Because last night, I woke up and my hands were cold. Not from the AC. From holding something. A Slurpee cup. Half full. Still cold. And on the straw, lipstick. Red. Not mine. I looked in the mirror. My lips were bare. But when I smiled, just to check, the reflection didn't smile back. It kept going. Bigger. Wider. Until it wasn't my face anymore. It was hers. And behind me, in the dark of the room, I heard the ping. Again. And again. And again. So I downloaded Hinge because everyone said it was better than the others, like actually made for people who want real connections instead of just swiping left on bodies. I didn't believe it at first, but after a month of ghosting and awkward small talk with guys who only wanted to know if I lived close to a gym, I figured I'd give it a shot. My profile was simple, just a few pics of me hiking, one with my dog, another at that taco spot downtown, and a goofy one where I'm wearing sunglasses indoors. Bio said I like long walks, bad horror movies, and making people laugh. Basic, yeah, but honest. Then I matched with Jake. His profile was clean. Not too many pictures, but the ones he had were good. Outdoorsy, smiling. Looked like he actually enjoyed life. No gym selfies. No fish he caught. No guns. One photo was him standing in front of a red barn, arms crossed, dog at his feet. Another was him cooking something in a cast iron skillet. His bio said he liked thunderstorms, vinyl records, and fixing things that didn't need fixing. I thought that was kinda cool. Different. We started talking, and it just flowed. No awkward gaps. No weird pickup lines. He asked about my dog. I asked about his dog. Then we got into this whole thing about how we both hate cilantro because it tastes like soap. Normal stuff. But the way he wrote felt intentional. Like he wasn't just typing fast and sending whatever. He'd reply after a few hours. Never too quick. Never too slow. And he remembered little things. Like when I mentioned I hated when people chewed loud. He sent a voice note pretending to chew ice. Then whispered, "Just kidding. I'm a quiet chewer." I laughed so hard I dropped my phone. After a week, he asked if I wanted to meet up. I was nervous, obviously. First date vibes, even if it was just coffee. But he suggested this little spot in the woods outside the city. Some tiny cafe built inside an old train car. Said it was quiet, peaceful, and had the best maple latte he'd ever had. Sounded weird, but in a charming way. I checked Google Maps. It existed. Barely showed up, but it was there. A single pin near a state park, surrounded by trees. I showed the location to my roommate, and she said it looked sketchy, but also kind of romantic. I told her I'd be fine. I brought pepper spray, left my location shared with her, and wore my boots with the steel toes, just in case. When I got there, the place was exactly how he described. The train car was painted forest green with white trim, windows fogged from the inside. Smoke curled from a chimney on top. The parking lot was gravel, barely big enough for 3 cars. His truck was already there, a rusty blue Ford with a dog crate in the back. His dog, a border collie mix named Scout, was lying down, watching me through the window. I waved. He didn't wag his tail. Jake came out before I could knock. He looked exactly like his pictures, maybe even better. Wore a flannel and jeans, smelled like pine and coffee. He smiled, said my name like he'd been saying it in his head for days. We went inside, and it was warm, dimly lit, with bookshelves built into the walls and soft jazz playing from an old record player. We sat by the window, talked for hours. About books, about our parents, about that one summer when both of us got food poisoning from gas station sushi. He made me feel seen in a way I hadn't in years. We left around dusk. He walked me to my car, and I remember thinking how calm everything felt. The woods were quiet, the air crisp. He said he'd text me later, gave me a quick hug. Nothing weird, just friendly. I drove home, buzzing, already thinking about our next date. But that night, I woke up to my phone buzzing. Not a text. A call. Unknown number. I answered, half asleep, and the line was silent. Then faintly, I heard breathing. Not heavy, not creepy, just there. Like someone standing in a room, not moving. I hung up, blocked the number. Told myself it was a wrong number. Next morning, Jake messaged like nothing happened. Asked if I wanted to go hiking the next weekend. I said yes. We made plans to meet at a trailhead near his place. When I got there, his truck wasn't there. I waited 30 minutes. No text, no call. I drove home, annoyed but not worried. Probably got busy. Dogs get sick, cars break down. But that night, the call came again. Same unknown number. Same breathing. Only this time, I heard something else. Faint, like a whisper underwater. I held the phone closer, heart thudding. It sounded like my name, but not spoken. More like hummed. Like someone was singing it in a dark room. I hung up, turned off my phone, slept with it under my pillow. Next day, I checked his profile. Still up, but all the pictures were gone. Just a black screen where his face used to be. I messaged him. Hey, everything okay? No reply. I called. Went straight to voicemail. I searched his name online. Nothing. No social media. No LinkedIn. No public records. It was like he never existed. I drove back to the train car cafe. It was gone. Not closed. Not burned down. Just not there. The spot where it stood was empty. Just gravel and weeds. No foundation, no tracks, no sign that a building ever sat there. I checked the GPS. I was in the right place. I walked around, looked for tire marks, anything. Nothing. Then I saw it. A single coffee cup, half buried in the dirt. Blue with white writing. I picked it up. It was cold. The logo was faded, but I could make it out. Thunderbird Cafe. Not the name Jake gave me. I took it home, washed it, set it on my shelf. Figured I was overreacting. Maybe I imagined the whole thing. Maybe I met someone else, confused the name. My roommate said I probably did. Said I'd been stressed, needed sleep. But the calls kept coming. Every night at exactly 2:13 a.m. Same number. Same breathing. Same hummed version of my name. I started recording them. Played them back in the morning. At first, it was just breath and sound. But after a few nights, I noticed something. In the background, under the hum, there was music. Faint. Jazz. The same song that was playing in the cafe. I looked up the song. It was Autumn in New York by Billie Holiday. Recorded in 1952. I played it on loop, compared it to the recording. Same tempo. Same crackle. Same pause before the trumpet solo. But in my recording, Right at that pause, there was a voice, not Jake's, deeper, older, said she's listening. I deleted the file, broke the coffee cup, uninstalled Hinge, thought it was over. Then last night, I was walking Scout, my dog, not Jake's, around the block. It was late, street lights flickering. I passed an alley, and something caught my eye. A phone, lying in a puddle. Screen cracked but lit up. Hinge notification. New message. From Jake. Said, I found a place you'll love. Quiet. No one ever goes there. Just like the cafe. I didn't pick it up. I walked away. But when I got home, my dog wouldn't go inside. Just sat on the porch, growling at the woods behind my building. And my phone buzzed. Not a call. A voicemail. From the unknown number. I played it. It was me. Breathing. Humming my own name. And in the background, the jazz song. Playing from a record player that shouldn't exist. It started like any other night. I was bored, scrolling through Hinge like it was a sport, matching with girls who looked like they'd laugh at my jokes, or at least pretend to. Most of the time it's small talk, bad pickup lines, and ghosting after one coffee. But then I saw her. Her name was Claire. Mid-20s, dark hair, sharp cheekbones, and a smile that looked like it could cut glass. Her bio said she liked horror movies, black coffee, and long walks in cemeteries. I thought it was a joke. I swiped right. She matched instantly. Within 10 minutes, we were texting about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and whether Leatherface ever just wanted to be loved. We talked for days. She was funny, smart, a little dark, but in a way that made you lean in instead of back away. After a week, she suggested we meet. Not at a bar, not some loud place where you have to shout over music. She said her place was quiet, cozy, and she'd make me dinner. I said yes before I even thought about it. I was excited. I shaved, put on cologne, and drove across town to her building. This old brick thing on the edge of the industrial district. The kind that used to be factories, but now houses artists and people who say vibe unironically. Her apartment was on the 3rd floor. The hallway smelled like burnt popcorn and mildew. Her door had a wreath made of fake crows. I laughed when I saw it. She opened the door before I could knock. She was wearing a red sweater and leggings, her hair down, and she smiled like she'd been waiting for me my whole life. She pulled me in, kissed me on the cheek, and handed me a glass of red wine. The place was dim, lit only by candles and a salt lamp in the corner. It was warm, messy in a lived-in way. Books stacked on the coffee table, a cat curled up on the couch. Everything felt normal. We ate spaghetti, talked about our worst dates, laughed at how bad online dating is, and then she put on Hereditary. Halfway through, she leaned her head on my shoulder. I thought it was going well. Too well. I should have known something was off. After the movie, she said she wanted to show me something. Not in a flirty way. More like serious. She led me down a narrow hallway to a door I hadn't noticed before. It was smaller than the others, almost hidden behind a bookshelf. She opened it slowly. Behind it was a staircase, narrow, wooden, leading down. I asked where it went. She said the basement. I told her I didn't do basements. She laughed and said it wasn't scary. Just her project space. I followed. I don't know why. Curiosity, dumb luck, whatever. The stairs creaked under our weight. The air got colder. At the bottom was a single bulb hanging from the ceiling, flickering like it was about to die. The room was small, concrete walls, shelves lined with jars. I stepped closer. Inside the jars were things. Teeth, fingernails, locks of hair tied with ribbon. One had a wedding ring floating in yellow liquid. My stomach dropped. I turned to her. She was smiling. "This is my collection," she said, "of people who lied to me." I tried to laugh. I said it was a prank, an art thing, performance horror. She didn't blink. Then she reached behind a shelf and pulled out a Polaroid. It was me. Not from tonight. Me 2 weeks ago, walking into my gym. Another one, me unlocking my car. Another, standing in my kitchen, shirt off, making breakfast. My hands started shaking. I asked how she got those. She said she's been watching, that she knew I'd come, that she picked me because I seemed trustworthy. I backed toward the stairs. She didn't move, just watched. I turned and ran, taking the steps 2 at a time. I didn't look back. I slammed the front door behind me, jumped in my car, and drove. I didn't stop until I was home. That was the first night I didn't sleep. The next day, my phone buzzed. A message from Claire. Just a photo. My front door. Taken from the outside. Then another. My bedroom window. Then one of my shoes by the bed. I deleted the app, changed my number. Told my roommate to change the locks. I thought I was safe. I was wrong. That night, I woke up to the sound of scratching, like nails on wood. It was coming from the closet. I sat up, hard in my throat, and stared at the door. It was closed. I didn't remember closing it. I got up, opened it fast. Nothing. Just clothes, my gym bag, a box of old video games. I checked under the bed, behind the curtains. Nothing. But the next morning, my pillow was on the floor. My blanket was tangled at the foot of the bed. And on my nightstand, next to my phone, was a single black hair. Long. Not mine. I started sleeping with a knife. Kept it under the mattress. I checked the locks every hour. I installed cameras. Motion sensors. I even got a dog, a big mutt named Rex. Felt safer for a while. Then last night, I woke up to Rex growling. Not barking. Low, deep, like he smelled something wrong. I sat up. The room was dark. The door was open. I never leave it open. I reached for the knife. It was gone. I heard a creak from the hallway. Then footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, pointed it at the door. She was standing there. Claire. Same red sweater. Same smile. Like she'd just walked in from a date. I screamed. Rex lunged. She didn't flinch. Just raised her hand. He stopped. Froze. Like he saw something I couldn't. Then he backed away, tail between his legs, and hid under the bed. She took a step forward. I threw the phone at her. It hit the wall. Light gone. I scrambled back, fell off the bed, crawled to the door. She followed. Not fast. Not slow. Like she had all the time in the world. I made it to the living room. Tried the front door. Locked. I couldn't find the keys. Turned around. She was there. Closer now. I don't know how long I passed out. Could have been minutes. Could have been hours. When I came to, I was in the basement. Not hers. Mine. We have a basement. I never go down there. Never had a reason. But now I was tied to a chair, hands behind my back, mouth taped shut. The bulb above me flickered. Same as hers. On the shelves, new jars. Empty. Labels written in neat handwriting. One said eyes. Another tongue. Another skin. She was sitting across from me, sharpening a scalpel. Didn't look up. Just said, I knew you'd come back. I always knew. I tried to scream. The tape muffled it. She smiled. Got up. Walked over. Pulled out her phone. Took a photo of me. Uploaded it. I saw the screen. It was Hinge. My profile. Still active. New matches already piling in. She leaned in. Whispered, don't worry. They'll find you. Eventually. Then she turned off the light. I don't know how I got out. Don't remember breaking the chair. Don't remember running up the stairs. All I know is I'm in my car now. Engine running. Keys in the ignition. I haven't moved in 2 hours. Every time I think about going back, I see her face. That smile. The way Rex looked at her like she wasn't human. My phone buzzes. I don't want to look. But I do. It's Hinge. Notification. New message. You left before dessert, it says. I saved you a jar. So I moved into this apartment last month because rent was stupid cheap for the area, like suspiciously cheap. And my buddy Jake said, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. It's in this old converted building off 42nd in Maple. Used to be some kind of medical office back in the 80s or something. Now it's got 6 units, most of them empty, and the landlord, this guy Mr. Henson, barely checks in. He collects cash, gives you a key, and disappears. No lease, no paperwork, nothing. I should have known that was weird, but I was desperate. My old place got condemned after that gas leak, and I couldn't afford anything else in the city. The first few days were fine. Quiet. Too quiet. Like the walls swallowed sound. I kept thinking I'd hear someone walking above me. But the unit upstairs has been empty since I got here. I asked Mr. Henson about it, and he just grunted. Said the last tenant left in a hurry and never came back. That's when I started noticing the smell. Not garbage or mold, but something sharp, like rubbing alcohol and old bandages. It came from the vent in the bedroom. I called maintenance, but no one showed. Left a note on Henson's door. Nothing. Then the app started. Hinge. I downloaded it because I was bored one night, scrolling through profiles, matching with people. Normal stuff. But after a week, something changed. I get matches with girls who looked off. Not bad looking, just something in their eyes. Like they were looking past the camera. One girl had her profile pic taken in a room that looked exactly like my bedroom. Same cracked ceiling tile. Same weird stain on the wall near the closet. I thought it was a joke, maybe someone messing with me. But then I matched with another girl, and her bio said, "Love long walks in abandoned buildings." Which is fine, whatever. But then her second photo was of a hand holding a key. My key. The one Henson gave me. Same chip silver. Same red tape on the end. I deleted the app. Swore I wouldn't go back. But 3 days later, I was lonely, bored, and stupid. Re-downloaded it. Same account, no password needed. And there she was. Matched again. Same girl. Same photos. But now there was a new one. It was dark, blurry. But I could make out the hallway outside my apartment. The peeling green paint, the flickering light at the end. And in the corner, half hidden, a shadow. Tall. Leaning. Like someone standing there watching. The timestamp said 2:17 a.m. Last night. I checked my door. Locked. Chain on. No noise. But the vent in the bedroom was open. I swear I closed it. And the smell was stronger. I started checking the app every day. Not because I wanted to date. Because I needed to see if she'd post another photo. She did. Next one was of my bathroom sink. My toothbrush in the cup. My deodorant sitting on the edge. Taken from inside the shower. The glass was fogged. But I could see the outline of a head behind it. Not mine. Too big. Too still. I didn't sleep that night. Sat on the couch with a baseball bat I found in the closet. Old dusty but solid. At 3 a.m., the app pinged. New message. From her. Just one word closer. I threw my phone across the room. Unplugged the router. Sat in the dark, sweating, listening. The building creaked like it was breathing. Somewhere below, water dripped. But then I heard it. A soft thud. Like a footstep. From upstairs. But no one lives up there. I stayed up until sunrise. When the light came through the blinds, I felt stupid. Maybe it was stress. Maybe I was losing it. I opened the app again. Deleted the match. Blocked her. Cleared the cache. Turned off location. Thought I was done. That night, the power went out. Not just my place. Whole block. I lit a candle. Sat by the window. Rain started. Heavy. The kind that hammers the roof. That's when I saw it. Across the street, under the broken streetlight, a figure. Standing. Facing my building. Tall. Wearing a long coat. No umbrella. Just standing there, staring up. At my window. I ducked. Heart slamming. Waited. Counted to 60. Looked back. Gone. But the candlelight caught something on the sill. A note. Folded. Dry. Like it hadn't been in the rain. I picked it up. Handwriting was messy, like a kid wrote it. Said, "You don't need the app anymore. I'm already here." I ran to the door. Checked the lock. Checked the windows. All secure. But the vent. Again. Open. And the smell, so strong now I could taste it. I grabbed the bat, got on my knees, shined my phone light inside. The vent runs up into the walls, connects to the floor above. I could see something in there. Not dust. Not a rat. A strand of hair. Long black. Wrapped around a screw. I backed away. Called the cops. They came, took a report, said without evidence they couldn't do much. Asked if I'd been drinking. If I was on meds. One cop looked up at the ceiling like he heard something. But he didn't say anything. Just left. Next day, I packed a bag. Called Jake. Told him I was out. He came to help me move my stuff to his couch until I found something else. We were loading the last box when my phone buzzed. Hinge notification. I didn't even have it open. I clicked it. New match. Her again. But this time, the profile was different. No photos. Just text. It said, "You can't leave. You're mine now." And then, underneath, "Jake doesn't know what I've done." I looked at Jake. He was halfway down the stairs with a box, smiling, joking about how heavy my dumb books were. I wanted to tell him, but what could I say? That a girl on a dating app was stalking me through the walls? That I think she's been living in the vents? That I found hair that wasn't mine in a hole in the wall? I didn't say anything. Just followed him down, locked the door behind me, dropped the key in the mailbox. Felt relief, like I was finally out. But when we got to Jake's place, I went to charge my phone, plugged it in, opened the app again, just to make sure. It was still there. Her profile, active, and now there was a new photo. Me, sleeping on the couch at Jake's, taken from the hallway. Dark, but clear enough. And in the corner, the same shadow, leaning, watching. I didn't sleep that night either. Sat up, eyes on the door, the vents, the windows. The app stayed open on my phone. No new messages, but her last one was still there. "You can't leave. You're mine now." 2 days later, Jake asked why I kept checking the vents in his place. I told him I thought I saw a rat. He laughed, said his building was clean. But that night I heard it, a soft scraping, from the wall behind the bed, like fingernails, or something dragging. I got up, looked, nothing, but the vent cover was loose. I tightened it. Then I saw it. A black hair, stuck in the screw, same as before. I didn't tell Jake. I just sat on the floor, back against the wall, staring at that vent. The app buzzed again. I didn't want to look, but I did. New message. Just 3 words this time. "I'm still following." I never thought I'd be the kind of guy who checks his phone at 3 a.m., like something's watching me from the other side of the screen. But that's exactly where I am now, sitting up in bed, the blue glow hitting my face, like I'm some kind of ghost haunting my own room. My phone's not even cracked this time, which should be a good sign, but somehow it feels worse. The app is open. Hinge. Again. I told myself I wouldn't open it after what happened with Sarah, but it's like my thumb has a mind of its own. Maybe it's the silence, or the way the ceiling fan keeps making that soft clicking noise every time it spins. Like it's counting down. I matched with someone last night. Her name was Maya. Profile picture was her standing in front of a mural, laughing, sunlight hitting her hair, just right. She had this smile that made you feel like you already knew her. Bio said she liked long walks, indie music, and ghost stories that actually scare me. I thought that was cute. Original. Not like the usual, "I love tacos and Netflix" bios that flood the app. We started talking. Nothing crazy. Just back and forth, easy. Like we'd been texting for weeks. She asked about my job. I asked about her dog. She sent a selfie with a golden retriever wearing sunglasses. Everything felt normal. Then she said she lived in this old apartment building downtown. Said it was cheap and quiet. She mentioned the walls were thick, like the place was built in the 1920s. Said sometimes she'd hear pipes groan at night, or footsteps above her when no one was home. I laughed it off. Old buildings do weird stuff. My grandma's house used to make knocking sounds in the walls. Rats, she said. But I never believed her. We agreed to meet. Coffee. Saturday afternoon. Nothing intense. I picked a spot. This little place near the park with mismatched chairs and strong espresso. I got there early, ordered, sat by the window. Watched people walk by. Watched the clock. 2:15, 2:20, 2:30. She didn't show. No text. No call. Nothing. I figured she got busy. Ghosted. Happens. I left, annoyed but not devastated. That night my phone buzzed. It was her. Said she was so sorry, got stuck helping her sister move. Said she felt terrible. I typed back, "No worries, we can reschedule." She replied fast. Too fast. Said she'd love to. Then she sent a photo. It was her, in what looked like her bedroom. Dim lighting. She was sitting on the bed, wearing a white tank top, hair messy like she just woke up. Behind her, the wall had this weird stain. Dark, like water damage, but shaped like a handprint. I didn't think much of it. Old buildings, right? But then she sent another, and another, each one darker. Her face getting blurrier. The room looked colder. The handprint stain seemed to spread. Then one photo showed her lying down, eyes closed, mouth slightly open. I thought she fell asleep mid-text. Kinda weird, but okay. I didn't reply. Went to sleep. Next morning, I checked my messages. Dozens of photos. All from her room. Some showed the ceiling. Some showed the floor. One was just the closet door, slightly ajar. Another was the bathroom mirror, foggy, like someone just showered. But the weirdest one? Her phone, sitting on the nightstand. Screen lit up, pointed at the bed. And on the screen, a photo of me. Asleep. Mouth open. Same angle as her last picture. I sat up so fast my head spun. My phone was on my nightstand. Exactly where I left it. Charging. Screen dark. I checked the time. 6:17 a.m. No notifications. No missed calls. Nothing. I opened Hinge. Our conversation was gone. Like it was never there. I searched her profile. Nothing. Not even in my matches. It was like she vanished. I told myself it was a glitch. A prank. Maybe someone hacked my account. I changed my password. Cleared the app data. Thought I was done with it. Then, last night, it happened again. I was scrolling, half asleep, when I saw her. Maya. Back online. Same profile. Same photo. Same bio. I froze. My heart did this stupid thud thing, like it forgot how to work. I didn't want to message her, but my finger moved on its own. I typed hey. 3 dots appeared. Instantly. Then, you came back. I didn't reply. Closed the app. Turned off my phone. Sat in the dark. Listened to the house. The fridge kicked on. The dog next door barked once. I waited. 20 minutes. Turned my phone back on. She'd sent a photo. Her room again. The handprint stain was bigger. Now it looked like fingers, stretching across the wall. And on the bed, a dent in the pillow. Like someone had been lying there. I didn't sleep. Not really. Just stared at the ceiling, counting breaths. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that photo. The dent. The stain. The way the light bent in the corner of the room, like it was being pulled. This morning, I decided to check her address. I remembered her saying she lived on 7th and Maple. Old brick building with green shutters. I drove there. Just to see. Needed proof it was real. The building exists. Same as she described. I walked up to the front door. Locked. Peered through the glass. Foyer looked empty. Dusty. Mail piled up in some boxes. Name tags faded. I checked the mailbox for apartment 3B. Maya Reed. There it was. My stomach dropped. I knocked. No answer. Tried the door. Still locked. Walked around back. Fire escape led up to the 3rd floor. One window was cracked open. Curtains moving in the wind. I looked up. That was her place. 3B. I could see part of the room. The wall. The stain. Bigger now. Almost like a full arm reaching down. I left. Fast. Drove home. Locked every door. Checked every window. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I didn't want to look, but I did. It was her. One message. Just, I can see you. I threw the phone on the couch. Ran to the bedroom. Pulled the blinds. Sat on the floor, back against the wall. Listened. Nothing. Then buzz. Again. I crawled over. Screen lit up. Another message. Then a photo. My living room. Taken from outside. The angle was low. From the bushes. Then another. My bedroom door. Slightly open. Then one of me. Sitting on the floor. Phone in hand. Eyes wide. I didn't move. Couldn't. My breath got shallow. The house felt colder. The lights flickered once. Then stayed on. Buzz. Another message. This time a video. 10 seconds long. It showed her room. The handprint stain now covered half the wall. The bed was empty. The camera panned slowly to the nightstand. Her phone was there. Screen on. displaying a photo of me. Same one from before. Then the camera moved. Up, toward the ceiling. And there, in the corner, something moved. A shadow. Not big. Just a patch of darkness that didn't belong. It shifted. Like it was watching. The video ended. I didn't charge my phone. Didn't turn it off. Just left it on the couch. Went to the kitchen. Poured a glass of water. Hands shaking. Drank it fast. Felt the cold go down. Tried to think. Logically. Maybe someone's messing with me. A hacker. A stalker. But how did they get photos of me in my house? How did they know where I lived? Then I remembered something. The first night we talked, I mentioned my street. Just in passing. Said I lived near the high school. She didn't say anything. Just sent a heart emoji. I went back to the living room. Phone still on the couch. Screen dark. I picked it up. No new messages. Opened Hinge. Her profile was gone again. No trace. I searched her name. Nothing. But then I noticed something. In my photo gallery. A folder I didn't make. Label matches. Inside, 17 photos. All of me. Sleeping. In my bed. At my desk. In the shower. Steam on the glass. Blurry but clear enough. The last one was taken an hour ago. Me. Sitting on the floor. Staring at the phone. Face pale. Eyes hollow. I deleted the folder. Cleared the trash. Turned off the phone. Threw it in the freezer. Like that would help. Now I'm writing this on my laptop. No phone. No apps. Just me and this screen. It's 4:13 a.m. The house is quiet. Too quiet. I checked the doors. Windows. All locked. I even put a chair under the bedroom door. But I can't shake the feeling that she's not out there. She's already in. And the worst part? I think she's not the one who's been taking the photos. I think she's been trying to warn me. And now she's gone. And I'm next.